Every scroll revealed their face, morning gym selfies, motivational quotes over espresso, hustle reels with lo-fi beats. They weren't just present, they were performing. Their life looked like progress, but it was validation dressed as ambition. And then, silence. No warning, no goodbye post, just vanished. The group chats lit up. Did something happen? They finally burned out. Nah, they're just broke. At first, the absence felt like freedom. No noise, no filters, no fake laughs for clout. Just the raw hum of silence, broken only by the scratching of pen on paper and the soft buzz of late-night study sessions. But this wasn't some romantic retreat. This was exile, engineered. Because 3 weeks before their vanishing act, something shattered. A betrayal so quiet, it echoed louder than any public scandal. A friend, no, a confidant, had taken their ideas, twisted them, and gone viral off their back. The trust was gone. And so was the mask. Behind the scenes, a blueprint unfolded. Wake, grind, read, invest, building, repeat. No applause, no witnesses, no distractions. People called it a breakdown. It was actually a calculated breakdown of everything fake. They lived like a ghost in their own life, eating cheap meals, walking unseen, tracking every dollar like it was sacred. They weren't chasing money. They were chasing revenge in the form of discipline. Then, one night, the final ritual, they sat cross-legged on the cold floor, holding an old, leather-bound notebook. My dream circle, a list of people they once vowed to win with, each name written in hopeful ink, each one a wound now. They didn't cry. They just struck a match, watched the paper curl and blacken, and whispered, "You can't betray someone who's already disappeared." Cut to black ashes swirl in the air as the camera zooms in on a half-burned name, someone the audience will recognize later. They didn't just disappear, they erased themselves. No clubs, no chats, no crumbs of digital life left behind. Their last Instagram post was 42 weeks ago. No story highlights, no replies, no happy birthday comments, even for people they once loved. They weren't sad, not at first. They were surgical. Every social contact trimmed like dead branches. Every group chat archived. Every notification silenced. They called it monk mode. But this wasn't about mindfulness. It was about control. They began to feel it. Time stretching. Focus sharpening. Even their voice changed. Quieter, lower, more certain. They started to track everything. Money, energy, food, sleep, ideas. For the first time in their life, their phone wasn't a leash. It was a tool. Until it started buzzing again. Not from apps, from people. Old flings texting, "Hey stranger," friends saying, "We're all at Dre's tonight. Pull up." A family member writing, "This silence is scaring us." They didn't respond, but it stirred something. By the third week, the silence turned sharp. Loneliness wasn't a feeling, it was a voice. It whispered during breakfast, echoed during workouts, screamed during sleepless nights. Doubt started to seep in. Maybe you're broken. Maybe they were right about you. Maybe disappearing isn't power. It's proof you couldn't keep up. Then, one night, a ping, an anonymous DM. Blank profile, no followers, no name, just one message. "You think I don't know what you're doing?" They froze. They checked the windows, locked the doors. Their heart pounded like a war drum. They tried to brush it off. Maybe a scam, maybe spam, until the second message arrived. "Nice camera outside your apartment. Red lights blinking." They dropped the phone, ran to the window. The security camera was blinking and recording. They pick up the phone, delete every app, and smash it against the floor. The screen cuts to the camera feed. A shadowy figure in a hoodie watching from across the street. While the world scrolled, they built. No spotlight, no hashtags, no rise and grind captions. Just silent progress in a room where the curtains always stayed drawn. Every morning started with black coffee and cold silence. The schedule? Ruthless. 4:45 a.m. Wake? 5 a.m. Skill drill? 8 a.m. Deep work? Noon. Investment research? 6 p.m. Hustle project? 11 p.m. Journal repeat for months. The results were invisible until they weren't. One by one, streams of income emerged from the shadows. A faceless dropshipping brand started pulling $10,000 a month. An anonymous ebook climbed niche charts. A YouTube channel with no voice, no face, just value. And the money flowed in. But here's what no one knew. None of it bore their real name. Every LLC, every handle, every email address was a mask. Because they had learned the hard way. Success is safest when no one can trace it to you. Flashbacks hit like lightning. Moments of vulnerability shared with friends who disguised envy as encouragement. A business idea laughed at, then stolen. A partner who said, "Why don't you just relax?" Even social media followers who copied their content, then blocked them to race ahead. They weren't just ghosting people. They were ghosting their past failures. Until one night, during a rare scroll through a burner account, they saw it. A viral Instagram post from a verified influencer. Someone I used to know is secretly killing it. Watch. I'm gonna expose the truth soon. Their breath caught. The photo was taken through a slightly cracked door. The lighting was dim, but the details were clear. Their home office, their custom keyboard, the mug that said, "Outwork your shadow." They zoom in on the reflection in the monitor. A silhouette holding a phone, wearing the same hoodie from the camera footage. It started slowly, a like on an old photo, a heart emoji on a story they didn't even post, just a reshared quote from a burner account. Then came the texts. "Been thinking about you. Let's catch up. You good?" The dream circle, the same names burned into ash back in topic 1, began circling again, smiling, charming, curious. But their messages smelled like smoke, like something was still on fire. One ex called it divine timing. Another friend casually mentioned running into a mutual contact who heard you're doing something big now. A cousin asked for coffee, then slipped in. "So, what exactly are you working on these days?" They smiled, played dumb, said, "Just trying to stay afloat." But behind their eyes, alarm screamed. Because the empire was real now. A passive income stream replaced their day job. Their portfolio had grown 6 times in the last year. They were still silent, but the silence was starting to leak. So they tested the circle. One friend they hadn't spoken to in a year was invited for tea. No information shared, just small talk and old memories. The next day, someone posted, "Some people really think they can hide forever." It was a trap. The whole meeting, a recon mission. And then came the voicemail, a voice they knew, a voice that once encouraged them, a voice that helped design the first side hustle years ago. "I know what you're worth now. We both know I helped build you. You owe me." That word, "owe," cracked something, and it got worse. They walked into their apartment that night and felt it before they saw it. The safe, where they kept their original notebooks, account keys, and the master journal, was open, not broken into, opened. On the floor was a torn page from the journal. One phrase highlighted in red, "Never let the circle back in." They turned toward the dark corner of the apartment and find the journal placed on the table. Its final entry, rewritten by someone else. "You didn't outgrow us. You just left us behind. And now, we've caught up." The mask cracked. It started with a leak. One document, shared anonymously on a financial blog, tracing an obscure LLC back to a shell PayPal account, and then to their apartment's IP address. The empire, once buried under layers of aliases and firewalls, was now visible to the world. People started asking questions. DMs poured in. Journalists sniffed around. YouTubers with "exposing the silent millionaire" thumbnails made reaction videos, despite not knowing their real name. But the old circle? They knew. Now, they came with lawyers, with threats, with receipts that twisted the past into lies. Even families started acting different, cold one moment, overly supportive the next. And now, the protagonist stood in the center of it all, exposed, exhausted, alone. They had two choices: speak out, take credit, control the story, but risk everything, or disappear again. Let the empire fade into facelessness, stay protected, but lose their voice. The silence that once gave them power now felt like a prison. But then came the final twist. An email arrived. No subject line, just a symbol, a broken hourglass. Inside, a single sentence. You passed phase 1. Now, the real test begins. Attached was a video file titled "The Others." In it, footage played, other ghosts, just like them. Men and women across the globe who'd gone dark, vanished, and re-emerged with wealth, discipline, and power. Each of them had been watched. Each of them had been selected. This wasn't an accident, it was a pattern. And now the protagonist was being invited deeper. Into what, exactly? They didn't know. But there was no going back. In the final scene, they walk past a mirror. Their reflection flickers between who they used to be and who they've become. They look straight into the camera and say, maybe silence was never about hiding. Maybe it was about becoming someone no one saw coming. Screen cuts to black, beginning of something else.